The rain had been falling all evening, the kind that soaked through shoes and thoughts alike, when Daniel opened his front door and saw the girl standing there. She couldn't have been more than 16, thin arms wrapped around herself, hair plastered to her face, eyes wide with fear and exhaustion. For a split second, Daniel considered the risk he was a poor single dad, barely keeping the lights on, responsible for his young son asleep inside. But something in her trembling voice as she whispered, "Please, I'm lost," made his heart decide before his mind could argue. If this story already has you wondering what you would have done in his place, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because what happened next changed Daniel's life forever. Daniel's house was small and worn, the kind of place where every creak of the floor reminded him how fragile his world was. He gave the girl a towel, an old sweatshirt, and a bowl of warm soup. She said her name was Lily, that she'd run away after an argument and missed the last bus. She avoided details, staring into the steam rising from the bowl as if the answers might burn her tongue. Daniel didn't push. He knew what it was like to feel cornered by life, to carry more fear than words could hold. He showed her the couch, told her she could stay just for the night, and quietly returned to his room, praying he hadn't made a terrible mistake. Sleep didn't come easily. Bills, worries, and doubts tangled in his mind. He thought about his late wife, about how she always believed kindness mattered even when it cost you. By morning, sunlight filtered through the thin curtains, and the smell of coffee filled the house. Lily was already awake, sitting at the table with Daniel's son, Ethan, laughing softly as they colored in an old notebook. The sound hit Daniel like a memory he didn't know he missed: warmth, normalcy, hope. Over breakfast, Lily finally opened up. She admitted her father was strict, always busy, always controlling. "He doesn't listen," she said, her voice shaking. Daniel nodded, understanding more than he could explain. He shared his own story, how losing his wife had left him juggling grief, parenthood, and poverty all at once. They weren't so different, he realized. Both were just trying to survive the roles life had forced on them. The knock on the door came just before noon. It was sharp, urgent, and heavy with authority. When Daniel opened it, two men in dark suits stood on his porch, rainwater dripping from polished shoes that probably cost more than his monthly rent. Between them was a tall man with tired eyes and a jaw clenched by worry. "I'm looking for my daughter," he said, his voice controlled but cracking at the edges. "Her name is Lily." Daniel's stomach dropped. Lily appeared behind him, frozen. "Dad?" she whispered. For a moment, no one moved. Then her father stepped forward, relief flooding his face as he pulled her into a tight embrace. The suits relaxed, radios crackling, and softly. Daniel felt small, exposed, suddenly aware of the peeling paint and secondhand furniture behind him. "I'm sorry," Daniel said quickly. "I didn't know who she was. She just needed a place to stay." Her father turned to him, studying him carefully. "You took in a stranger, you fed her, you protected her." His voice softened.
Do you have any idea how rare that is?
That was when Daniel learned the truth. Lily's father wasn't just wealthy, he was a millionaire, a powerful businessman used to solving problems with money and influence. He offered Daniel a reward, an envelope thick enough to change everything. Daniel looked at it, then at Ethan, then back at Lily. Slowly, he pushed it back. "I didn't help her for money," he said quietly. "I just did what I hoped someone would do for my kid." The silence that followed was heavy, meaningful. Lily's father exhaled, something in him shifting. "Then let me help you anyway," he said. Not as a transaction, but as gratitude. Weeks later, Daniel's life looked different. Not perfect, but lighter. A better job opportunity came through Lily's father's connections. Ethan had new school supplies. The fridge stayed full. More importantly, Lily and her father were rebuilding their relationship, learning to listen instead of control, to love without fear. Daniel often thought back to that rainy night. One small act of kindness, one open door, had rippled outward in ways he never could have imagined. And if there's one thing this story leaves on us with, it's this: you never know who someone truly is or how deeply your kindness might matter. Sometimes helping a lost girl for one night can change lives, including your own. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes that even in the hardest moments, compassion can still win.